Greetings everyone and welcome back to Factory Town and to the level 2 of the Factory Town campaign. Where in the first part of this campaign we laid the groundwork. We've managed to get a fairly stable construction industry on the go. We've improved a few things here and there, not too many though, all things considering. And we've started to make our way towards the last two sections of our goals. Well, that being said, we do still need to make 25 cloth conveyors and 25 wooden rails in order to get the tech level we need. But the first thing we're going to do is we need to increase the production down here quite a lot, actually. Now, one way of doing that is simply to increase the amount of people working here. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and place down some extra farm tiles. Oh, we don't have the means to, do we not? Let's have a look. What do we need for that? Oh, it is the of course. Yes, the fertilizer is all being carted away faster than we're actually able to produce it. Okay, well, the first thing then, let's go ahead and we'll ramp this all the way up. Now, each one of these, this one will take, based on our current production, well, let's just call that one for the sake of things. This requires, in 6 seconds, only 2. So that's quite convenient. So that's 1 every 3 seconds there. Down here, it's even less. So how fast can this produce? Right now, we can pump that up to 1, well, almost 1 every second. There we go. It's a little bit more than 1 every second now. As far as this goes, though, we're producing 2 of these per second. This requires 2. So that seems to be about as fast a production as we're going to get, or we're going to see in the near future. For the time being, though, let's see if we can't get down a couple more of these tiles. As they flow in, we should see some more fertilizer there. There we go. And little by little, we will start to see the grain moving a little bit faster. Now, as you can already see, it doesn't use up the fertilizer very quickly. But the initial supply is going to take some time. But now that we've actually laid the groundwork a little bit, I feel a lot more confident just leaving this to its own devices, really. On that note, I'm actually going to add fertilizer up here, I think. Let's go ahead and pop down fertilizer just so I can see at a glance whether or not I can afford to go ahead and try and add a little bit more. But how are these doing now? They're not doing great. Let's squeeze in a little bit of extra manpower there, and hopefully that will indeed help out. Right, how are things going down here? This is producing extremely slowly, so let's add in a couple more peeps there. That is very fast now, and indeed I think we can afford to go even faster down here as well. We should hopefully be getting to a point where we're starting to overwhelm the production. No, we've actually gotten through all of the grain that's available down here, so for a little while this is going to be significantly less productive. So let's go ahead and just add in a couple more bits of grain here and there wherever I can. There we go. That will help out a little bit. In fact, I could have a little bit over here as well. Now that's going to take some time for us to build up the, well, actually looking at that, we've got enough farm tiles for me to get a couple at least. There we go. That'll actually help out a fair old bit. But it's going to be a while before all of these grow. Now, the reason why you use farm tiles is that natural growth is slow. But it's not super fast on farmed tiles, but you'll get a significantly higher yield. So the overall effect is for the same amount of time growing the crop, you'll have a lot more crop to use from that. But next step then, let's go ahead and start working towards our new tech level, because we're going to need to get there. And along the way, we'll also probably set up a decent production of cotton, I should imagine. That being said, there are a couple of other things that we could grab as well, like maybe some pears would go a ways to increasing the happiness of our citizens, which would increase, in turn, the productivity of our workshops. So, how about, before we get too distracted by building out another cloth industry, we pop down another forester. Do we have enough room? About here should do, I would say. Let's pop you there, and we'll automatically get a little area down the bottom there. And I would like very much for you to simply gather pears. That's all we're going to want from here. We could... Well, we can have those move out on a chute. that won't be a problem for us, actually. So sure, let's go ahead, build out a structure down here. We want a wooden platform. Let's see. If we build it out straight all the way along here, that should be fine. Yeah, we'll have a little wooden platform there. But then the rest of this is going to be more of a scaffolding look. All the way down here. And then we'll have these come straight out and deposit these into a crate. And from the crate, we can have a cart collecting these. There we go. And delivering the pairs to the marketplace. There we are. That should add a little bit more happiness to our citizens, and I'm very, very happy for that to be the case. Let's slide that back a little bit. That way we can expand this road out a little bit more. There we are, making it a bit more of a thoroughfare. There. Lovely. In fact, let's just tidy it up a little bit around here. Look, I can't work with Factory Town and not try to make it pretty. Alright? I know for some of you, this is brain itching. But for me, it's brain itching if I don't. So, there we go. It's not much, but it makes it look a little bit more like a town square, and I like that. Now, the other thing we could do is, at this point, I could perhaps move this up here and move the house elsewhere. And I kind of am about that right now. Let's have a little house back there. Move the marketplace over here. There we go, and slide you across. Oh, that looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, that has reduced the efficacy of this route a little bit, and that does pain me somewhat. But at the same time, we could probably get this. This is up to 1 a second now. So we just need to be producing 3 of these a second. We're not quite there. There we go. Perfect. That should produce grain just about as quickly as this can consume it. So we should see plenty of flour flowing up to the marketplace there. Do I want to make this a little bit of a better road? I kind of feel that maybe we need to. So let's add in a little bit of a wooden platform over here. Just build this out just a little bit. There we are. And I'm going to slide this house down here. There we are. Marvellous. This way I can expand this road a bit. In fact, we can take this road all the way down if we particularly want to. And I do. We're going to have to make this... Ooh, that's going to look ugly if I don't do it the right way. So let's pop these in place. And then these as well. And then place the stone roads going over them. Now that has invalidated this little path. Sad though it is. That does allow for much better flow of traffic, though, over this area. So I am pretty happy with that, all things considered. And we'll actually increase that road down there a little bit more. Should we do the same over here? Sure, why not, eh? Yeah, let's get that going. 1, 2. And then finish that up. There we are. Lovely. I think I'll just allow that part to be as it is for now. But overall, this is much, much better. We're definitely bringing more pairs than we're moving into the market. So that's fine. And overall, with 50 happiness, we should see a nice little boost. Well, actually, we probably need to get to 60 before we see the next boost to production, but that's fine. I could upgrade the pasture. That is one of the things you can do, and the pasture in turn then will be significantly more productive. But that might be a bit of a big ask. How are we doing with fertilizer? We've actually managed to saturate fertilizer supplies, so that's excellent news for us. Let's go ahead and build these out a little bit more. Let's get some more down there as well. How much more have we got? We've easily got enough to get all of this done around there. And let's see 1 or 2 more if we can. Are we going to see another one? There we go. Right, with that then, I think it's probably safe for us to pump this up quite a lot. We're going to go all in on this one. We need a lot of animal feed. We need an awful lot of animal feed moving through. That is slowly, ever so slowly building up. And we don't actually have enough population now to expand that anymore. Okay, well, it's time for some more houses then. Where are we going to have these houses? We've got a couple of spots that we could pop them. Maybe another house on this hill, perhaps? There we are. We'll just pop you there. That'll look nice. Now, I think that's good enough for the time being. What I would like to do next, then, is to prepare a cotton farm. Now, oh, actually, before I do, there was one thing I said I was going to do in the last episode, and then I promptly didn't do it. And I feel bad. And that is, of course, more wells. We've got ample wooden... Actually, let's place down the wooden pipes. Fairly certain we've got ample of them, but I may have misspoke there. No, we got 100. We're fine. Right, let's hook all of these up. All the way. And first house. Second house. Third. You'll notice there that the connection point, whereas all of these have got 9 connection points, this one only has 8, because only 8 of the tiles of the house, of the 3x3 grid, are actually touching the terrain. To have a pipe join a building from underneath, from the underground layer, it has to be touching the ground, the building itself, not some sort of scaffolding, which is quite an important thing to keep in mind there. There we go. We'll bring that all the way across. Why does that allow me to hook up? Curious. Oh, I think that is because you could, conceivably, have a house hooked up to... a kitchen that is producing something like... Oh, actually, that's a mill down there. I think that's all of our houses. But you could have a kitchen that was hooked up to produce, like, fruit juice. And you could literally pipe fruit juice. I can think of nothing more extravagant, frankly. It's like, well, you've got water in your pipes. I have fruit juice. I've got pear juice from this pipe, apple juice from this pipe, cider from this... Shh, we don't call it cider. It's just strong apple juice. Yes, and wine is just strong grape juice. Spicy grape juice, one might say. On that note, we do have berries over here that we could also harvest to add a little bit more happiness besides. But there we go. That has pushed the happiness up. Ha! Piped water. My lord. Marvellous. Okay, well, we could actually do with a couple of extra houses, but now that we're actually piping the water in, we should see the experience going up quite comfortably for a little while. It may well be worth us gathering these berries, though. I definitely feel that would be a useful pull for us. Either that or the apple trees. Ooh. You know what? Sure. Let's get some apple trees going. Let's pop this down there. We seem to get most of the apple trees that way. And then get a chute all the way across this bridge. Oh no, the bridge is gone. Well, I mean, the bridge is still there. It just doesn't look as good anymore. Nope, can't do it. We need this bridge to look gorgeous. So, let's go ahead and see if we can't do that. It's important, damn it. Right, that one right there. And we could have something like that across both sides. But now, this little section looks a little bit odd. So how about we pop this beneath them? Because that makes it look quite intentional then. I like it. Yes. All right, with that done, we can bring this back out. And all we need to do is to hook up to about here. Can we do that? Oh, we can't quite do that. Still, that's not awful. There we go. And another crate just down there. Right, I'm going to need one of you. I would like you very much to pick up fresh apples and deliver them to the marketplace. We've already saturated the house's consumption for pears. Let's have a look if we can do the same with apples now. That is going to give us quite a lot of happiness. We've got 3 out of 5 of the happiness items for basic foods. We've got water, got a little bit of education. We've got 2 out of 3 clothing because we're providing wool and leather. The only thing we don't have is gourmet, and that'll be sandwiches. We'll get there in time. We do have apple trees just behind, but this is fine. We're almost certainly going to saturate the consumption for now. So that means these houses are going to level up nice and quick. All right, so finally, down to the serious business of the wooden rails and also the cloth conveyor. Now, wooden rails requires plank and stone. We have a nice collection of stone over here. In fact, it's the only place that we're gathering stone from. Have we got another area nearby? We do have some stone available over here as well. Is there anywhere else close by? We could perhaps do something over here. Gather a little bit of stone, because it's just the stone we need, and that will have to come from the meeple. We could then deliver planks direct to... Oh, take them from the barn, perhaps. But I'd rather not touch that, as that is our supply of building materials. As with the stone over here. So let's set up a brand new industry for that. Now, sadly, it does mean that we're going to have to chop back the forest a bit. And I dislike getting rid of resources, but at the very least, trees are something that we can cultivate and grow specifically. Obviously, stone, not so. Not until very, very late game. There are some ways that you can keep stone going, but it's a potch. Let's just put it that way. We're going to want then a workshop. Let's get that workshop. Hopefully, well, if we want it to be on the level, we're going to need to put it about here. Or alternatively, I could build it up, maybe have even a road going around this direction. Still, it's pretty close to the school at that point. I wonder if we can move the school. Right now, we're bringing books up from down here. But I think maybe we should be able to move the school just a tad. Let's see if we can't find somewhere. Right about there will actually do. Sure. And then we'll have those books delivered. Let's grab you and bring that down. There we go. Perfect. Okay, that will make things a little bit easier for us. Now, I do still need to have this connected up, but let's draw it across there instead. In fact, let's have that go down there. There we go. That's cleared up a little bit of room for us now. Okay, so first and foremost, we are going to want, for the production of wooden rails, we're going to need both stone. Oh, they're not produced here. Ah, we need wooden railways unlocked. Okay, very well. And cloth conveyors as well for the research. Very well, let's go ahead and do that. Wooden railways, we can afford it, so let's get that done. That will give us the wooden minecart and the wooden rail. Now, if we wanted to start moving things across great distances, that would very much be worth it. We're going to need intermediate logistics to unlock the conveyor belt research. Let's get that one as well. And honestly, with the amount of research points we have, we've got 3,000 research points. I may as well just grab everything. Let's go grab you. Now, civics. This is an interesting one. It increases the town centre capacity. And by that, it's not the level of the town centre, it's how many town centres you have. This is how you build other town centres that will work on different kinds of produce. Well, production, rather. Either way, now that we've got that, we can go ahead and tell you to make... Well, we could either use wooden conveyor belts, which would require both logs and planks. We're going to need planks anyway, and stone to make the rails. This one we need, and then it's just whether we make wooden wheels, which require the planks, or conveyors. Now, it's a little bit more intense to use the wooden wheels for this rather than the conveyors, but I am... Well, it's a little bit less... Well, no, it actually isn't even that much less resource intensive, if I'm perfectly honest. Okay, well, we're going to have slightly more jobs here than I was expecting, but this will get us everything we need ultimately. It'll get us both the conveyors, the wooden conveyors, the cloth conveyors, and the wooden rail. Do I really care for the wooden conveyors? Not really. Once we're producing cloth conveyors, they are better than the wooden conveyors in almost every way. So as long as we've got that on the go, that should be the main thing there. We will need both a lumber mill for this and another workshop making cloth. Now, I could just deliver the cloth here as wool or indeed cotton. Right now, we could peel off some of the cotton over... the wool that we're producing over here. I think that might be the play, since the wool is just down here. Which one are you? There we go. Right, so from now on, I would like you to pick up the wool there, drop it off here, and if you can't do anything else with it, go ahead and deliver it to the general store. Right, now that we've got that sorted, should I slide this across? I think we should. Let's slide that across a little bit. That way we can have a nice large road there. And the same down here. Nice large road all the way down. And the same, well, kind of, game trying to be a little bit cleverer than it is. Let's go ahead and place these down. And then the ramp. There we go. Lovely. That gives us a nice big thoroughfare for the wagons to move down here. There's going to be a lot of stuff that they're going to need. Okay, so they've already started producing the cloth. That's great. So that will be available for the cloth conveyor belts. Now, the next step for that is bringing in the logs and the planks. So we're going to need a lumber mill. We could perhaps pop that lumber mill just behind it, even. And I think that would be fine. We can have the lumber mill right here. Now, the only issue with putting the lumber mill here is we're not going to have the means to hook it up to the town's walkways. If we bring it over here, however, we will. We place that there. This should now be connected to the town. There we go. Perfect. Right, we are going to want... I think we've got enough. Maybe. Let me just pop in the wooden conveyor belts. Yes, we do. Okay, let's get the wooden conveyor belts down. Just to bring the planks across. There we go. Only thing I need from you is planks. There we are. Now, if you're wondering about the coin booster, basically you can pay a little bit of money to create a sink for that money. So we're making loads of yellow coin. Well, I could pay a one-time fee of 100 yellow coins, and then I could increase the amount of money I'm willing to invest in this outpost to increase its production. Now, that is a fantastic way of doing it if you've run out of people that you can throw at the problem. But I don't think we're at that stage yet. I don't think we really need it. All right, let's have this down here. Now, it's going to exist. I think we'd better if we could build it just nestled into the mountain there. And it is kind of dug in a little bit, as you can see. It's kind of backed into the mountain fully, but that should be fine for what we're going to need. Let's bring this all the way down and in. Now, once more, we're at this stage where this isn't really going to receive any happiness boosts, which is a problem, but there's only so much we can do about that one. We would then like to have another chute, just heading down, probably over to this point, and then down. You're not always going to have everything within the boost area, and you can't really plan to do that, so let's just get a couple of these down. Oops, I guess only one for now, and hopefully we can expand out our population in just a moment. Let's see, we've got... oh, they've got a lot of stuff in there. It's marvellous. But it's going to be a little while before this place levels up. So I think it's probably best for us to drop down another house. And possibly right down here at the end of that street there. There we go. That'll be marvellous. Let's pop another 2 down. This should be all of the mining that we're going to need for now. I will give them a little bit of... room there. I do apologize if you can hear my phone going off. It's kind of exploding at the moment. I will have to check that out. Pretty much everyone I know knows not to just randomly send me loads of messages back to back, especially at this sort of time of night, because this is when I work. I know I work in the middle of the night. It's just a me thing, okay? But everyone I know knows that I work in the middle of the night, so it's... yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. So while we wait for things to start flowing in, indeed, we're going to have to wait for the production of the cloth conveyors as well. And that one's going to take a little while because we haven't yet hooked up the wood. In fact, before I spirit myself away, let's take care of that. Now this is going to be a bit of an issue. Well, what we can do over here instead then is, let's pop these down. Oh yeah. If we just build these out along the side, that should allow us to have this area built up properly. Now, because of the way the game prioritizes anything moving in a... let me Can I get that to go around the corner? Maybe not. Because the way the game prioritizes anything going along a straight line over a curve, I will use a splitter to ensure that at least some wooden logs make their way down here. So let's go into here, logistics blocks and splitter. All right. Now, while we wait for everything to filter through and for our cloth conveyor belts to have been created, I will allow the factory to move forward a little bit. See you in a few seconds. And we're just about to complete it. There we go. We've completed Tech Level 4. To get there, I had to dramatically increase the production of logs and indeed move around some extra production around here as well. But I noticed that we've got some of the higher tier houses available to us now. We've got house level 6. Look at that. It's got an upstairs floor and glass windows. Ah, beauteous. Truly amazing. You can see from some of the earlier houses all the way up to the really, really swanky ones. And we've, in fact, managed to get to the point where we can upgrade our town level as well. We might as well do that, actually. Let's push that border out a little bit more, bring some more places within the town's area of effect. Oh, and we've got we can push the speciality even further now. Well, that is very nice. Okay, well, we could go for processing. Now, a processing specialization is, well, as it sounds, taking the raw resource and turning it into something, whereas the farming specialization is production of a raw resource, same with forestry, really, just different areas for that resource. Now, this may well be where we want to be. Books, bread, planks themselves, flour, animal feed. All of these things would have a decent chance of getting 2 times output. Though 40% for the processing, whereas it would be 80% for the farms or forestry. Honestly, I'm feeling more of a push towards processing, though. Let's go ahead and select processing as our goal. Now, that might change some of the interactions with everything else, but we'll see how that goes for now. Right at the moment, things seem to be going okay. In fact, I think this is going to be one of the first places I pop down a coin booster. We've currently got, we're spending 1 coin per second to give us an extra bit of oomph there. And I'm going to increase that to 2 coins per second. That is getting grain made more or less as fast as it's possible to make it, really. And in fact, we can't even get it out fast enough. Maybe that was a little bit ignorant of me. What we're going to do then is we're going to place this here, and I'm going to grab a grabber. There we go. We will empty it twice as fast. This is probably going to push our food mill to the point where, yeah, it has now, well, more or less saturated the demand from our pastures, which is fantastic. I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade the pastures instead of getting more people in them. This way we'll be producing ever so slightly faster, which is actually quite nice. That should allow... Well, no, we're still going. We can upgrade it again for some stone bricks, and we've got plenty of those, so might as well. There we are. I'm fairly happy with how that's going at this point. Everything else seems to be moving relatively well. Down here, the cloth conveyors are doing well. Yep, we're going well over here. All right, well, given that then, time for us, at last, to unlock Tech Level 4. There we go. Now we've got to move on to the sandwiches and the coats. Now, the coats are going to be an easy one. It's just cloth. Cloth, wool, and leather. Well, I say easy. It's 3 different industries go into it. However, sandwiches, oof, we're going to need chicken. We're going to need milk. We're going to need bread. And we're going to need cloth to make the cheese as well. This is not going to be an easy one for us to set up, but let's go ahead and place down the requisite buildings. So first and foremost, we're going to pop down a tailor. I'm going to place it over here, just out of the way, so we can have a look at the recipes. So, tailor, if I want you to make a warm coat, then I am almost certainly going to need you to make a shirt as well. You do not make the cloth yourself, so it's going to require something that makes the cloth. And I would ideally like cotton to be producing that. So we're going to do something I quite often do in the procedural game. Let's get rid of those. And that is I'm going to lay out the industries in order that I'm going to need them. Working backwards. So we'll need something making cloth, and I would ideally like that to be cotton, if possible. We are going to be producing the wool, so we could have the wool serve double duty on that. Maybe. That is a strong maybe. Especially considering we don't really need this over here for anything else, though we are providing wool to make the conveyors. That may well be something we do. Next, we are going to need the kitchen. Let's get you down. Now, the kitchen's going to need fuel. We can easily supply that. Ooh, we do not have enough peeps to keep that going. Let's pop down another house right there. That way we can have someone working in here, even though we're not using it just yet, but it's fine. Right, so we're going to need bread for that, which means we're going to need a grain mill. We're going to need to cook the chicken. Let's see. Next, to make the cheese, we're going to need milk and cloth. So we're going to need to provide cloth here, and then we have all three together to make the sandwiches. This is not a simple recipe by any stretch of the imagination. Still, I think we can make this happen. Now, I can dedicate an entire industry just to this if I really want. In fact, with civics, I could set up a whole new town just to serve that purpose. That is somewhat tempting. We could even perhaps set it up all to the side. We could still deliver to this town if we wanted to. There is something to be said about that. That being the case, though, we could easily have this entire industry set up over on the far side over here. So I think that's actually what we're going to do. Can I get you to line up? There we go. Perfect. And we'll just run that down. Okay, so first and foremost, let's get the tailor going. Since we're going to need both of these in fairly reasonable amounts. So I'm going to place the tailor here and the kitchen right here. And everything about these industries is going to be dedicated to the task of finishing up this level. So they will feed into a barn. Oh, that's a workshop, not a barn. There we go. And that barn can sit right at the head here. Perfect. We will use cloth conveyors for this one. At this point, I don't need these up here. We'll take those off. There we are. The cloth conveyors. Here we'll take the warm coats. And here we'll take the sandwiches. There we are. And you should grab warm coats only. Now, that being said, you know, if we had an excess of shirts, for example, then we could sell those as well. I would like sandwiches and coats and nothing else. Nothing else should be stored in this area. There we are. Now that is going to give us a reason to have a much more robust path all the way down there. Let's go ahead and build this out to the same sort of level. That way it'll all look nice. There we go. So just take that down. Perfect. This will help out enormously. And on that note, we could then pop down a final house or two, perhaps, around here as well. Now, this is going to put quite a strain on our production, or rather, the delivery. If we have a look at the food market, we are now actually a reasonable bit behind. This school, perhaps we could move you forward. Slide you forward a little bit, can we? No, we can't. Okay, well, let me place down a platform then, and then we should be able to. Sometimes the game isn't as keen on laying platforms and the likes. It wants you to expressly do it for it, which is fine. Now, on this level, I feel that we could perhaps look at doing away with our current delivery of flour in exchange for something like, let's go for a wooden platform here, in exchange for something like bread instead. Right, once this is empty, and it's going to take him a little while to do that, let's first get a kitchen, because it's always worth tweaking your production just a little bit, wherever you can, to make sure that Your people are about as happy as they possibly can be. We could even make apple juice here if I particularly want to do. That would be sold at a food market as well. But I think... Well, there are berry bushes nearby, aren't there? No. Let's not get distracted. Let's just go for the bread, as was my intention. Right. This can be deleted, as can this. And you can now collect bread and deliver it down here instead. I will need a source of fuel. That being said, there are apples over here too. I mean... Go on then. Though I am starting to worry about how this road is starting to get a bit clogged. Now, initially, I set this up just to contain... And I can't move it now. Just to contain the produce that we had coming in from the workshop. We don't really need to be storing that as we were. So I might do away with that for the time being. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to need both wood and apples. And this time we're going to go with meeples. Not forestry. Could you please grab the apples and deliver them straight down here? And, well, that being said, there is a forester right here with a cargo full of apples. Well, I mean, we could. We could definitely do this. Let's build that out behind. Same down here. Maybe not. In fact, could we possibly have a road going down behind? I don't think so. I think that's good enough for now. We will have a wagon, hopefully, bringing wood up from the forester and dropping it off. It's not going to have to make that many deliveries, simply because that is going to fill up very quickly. Let's get those roads there. That one can be deleted, though. There we are. Now, this is quite a busy area at this point, but we should start seeing plenty of produce being delivered over here. If I want my meeples to use this area back here, then I am going to have to do that. And that should allow them to take this route instead of over the roads, but honestly, the roads are the faster route, so they are still going to try and take it where possible. On that note, let's give you a little bit of an easier way up here, shall I? There you go. Can't say fairer than that. There we go. And with that, I should imagine that our people are extremely happy. 120 happiness. My lord, what's that? What's the kind of productivity we're getting from that? That's an extra 1.2%. Or 1.2 work effort, sorry, not 1.2%. Either way, very, very nice indeed. Right. Okay, well, for you then, for us to make everything we need down here, we're going to need deliveries of leather, of cloth, and of wool. Leather and wool can be delivered direct. The cloth is going to be we're going to need to make from wool, and we could have that just situated down here, and then use a little conveyor belt. Though technically speaking, we wouldn't need to use a conveyor belt at this point if we didn't want to. But we are going to need to bring wool and indeed leather direct up here. So let's go ahead and build out some support structures at the back. There we are. And I would like these to both come down. This one can be for leather. This one can be for wool. And indeed, we will have that use a splitter about here. There we go. That'll be marvellous. Now then, I just need the leather and I need the wool at the back here. And so that is going to guarantee that we need at least 2 more pastures. Let's go for you. Where are we going to build you? Now, I could have them down. They're getting quite low down there, though. We could have them perhaps over here. It's a little bit of a potch, really, to get them into the right position. Still, it's not necessarily the worst. As long as they have some natural tiles underneath them, then I can deliver water. I know I'm placing them right next to the coal mine, and that does bug me a bit, but we'll just have to accept that one for now. Right, we want leather. Now, I don't need to deal with the fertilizer if I don't want to. As I was saying earlier, unless something has changed quite significantly, fertilizer is one of the only things that won't clog an inventory. However, we are absolutely going to be delivering the items via conveyor belt. There we go. And the same over here. All the way along. Okay, we're going to have this rise up at about the same point, otherwise I'll be annoyed. That actually being said, no we won't. We need it to go like that. There we go. Sorted. Right, so here I'm going to want you to move, oops, item filters. I'm going to want leather. And over here, we want wool. Now, one of the things I just opened up is not something I've discussed previously, but you can change the logic connections here. We'll cover that later. I do want you to know that that exists, and you can actually get some pretty interesting behavior by using those filters, but we're going to shy away from that for the time being. We don't really need to get too deep into that. Now, this only takes care of the tailor, but that's going to be a perfect setup initially. Let's grab you. I would very much like you to bring along the warm clothes and drop them off over there. We're going to need 2 extra buildings, a farm. Have we got the population for it? We've got the population to build the 2. We've not got the population to boost them, however. We can use coins for that if we really want to, though. And then we want a food mill, probably just about here. Will do. There we are. Now we can use chutes for these. Straight down. This one needs to be set to produce animal feed from the grain. And then we will have something you might not expect, actually. We are going to very strictly split the output here. Like so. And we will use a splitter for that purpose. So rather than going in the back, we're just going to go down here and we're going to strictly tell them to split. Next up, we're going to need some water. Now we can hook into the pipeline we've already got down here if I want for that. Right, let's get that going. So water-wise, let's bring that all the way down. We've got a couple more houses now as well, so we should probably hook these up with plenty of water as well. There we go. But we want water to the farm, and then indeed water to the 2 pastures as well. There we are. That should take care of everything we need down there. And whilst that's happening, we are going to go ahead and place down some farm tiles as well, just to make sure that this area is growing the grain that is already present here as fast as it possibly can by watering the tiles. Oh, we ran out of fertilizer right at the end there. See if we can get a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. Now, do we want to bring the fertilizer up from here? Honestly, it probably would be a wise move. We're going to need at least enough grain for milk in addition to what we've got going, and chickens. We'll have 2 areas that are producing fertilizer, so it kind of seems wasteful not to make use of it. So given that, and since we're going to need 2 pastures for each item, we can have the fertilizer delivered and then brought up. So let's bring that there. And I would like you to come along up. There we go. And then, actually, that's going to be a little bit of an awkward one. To pass over an existing structure like this, you actually need to go 1 higher. Otherwise, it will cause a bit of an issue for you. So we're going to bring this all the way along. I'm actually going to move it a little bit further down. Basically, you could visually do this, but watch what happens to the wall. Stops there. We will set that back up again. If I were then to do this instead, it will allow the wool to move underneath. You've always got to have 1 layer of clearance for anything moving along. Conveyor, chute, doesn't matter. They all have to have that 1 layer of clearance to be able to get across. There we go. And then this can go all the way along. Look, some of you knew this was coming. Some of you were looking forward to this arriving. The spaghetti has begun. The spaghettification of our town. Let's grab this. You thought spaghettification only happened with black holes. Ha ha ha. No, no. It is a common mistake. Go. This will allow the conveyor belt to make its way all the way up and directly in there. Now, the way I'm going to get this up is we're going to have each of these pulling in this direction. Set these up as conveyors for fertilizer, and we're golden. There we go. This way we are at least making use of everything we can to get the most out of our production. Got enough extra peeps around now that we can set this up. Oh, no water. Oh, no, we have got water. It's just saying that there is no local source of water. Let's improve these evenly. Yeah, let's improve them evenly for now. There we go. That should keep these moving. I'm seeing the leather and indeed the cotton on the move. We haven't yet got enough to produce the cloth. Cloth should be being made down here. Have we made any of the coats? Yes, we've made 6 actually. Oh, that's fantastic. Coats are particularly high experience points for the houses that they serve. Also, there's some of the first items that will give us more than 1 happiness per product. So that is excellent. Alright, well that will now just tick on by itself. And as houses level up, are we at max happiness? Yes, we're at max happiness here. So oh, actually we can increase the amount of homes we can have even further. We might want to do that. We're going to need quite a few. Where would we like these homes to exist at this point? The town centre gives us quite a lot of reach for the homes. So how about we have a couple just kind of secreted away in here? I think this will be lovely. Let's just squeeze a few homes in amongst the trees. There we are. Maybe a couple of them. Just kind of dotted around. Just hidden away. Little grove. There we are. We'll have one there. We can have one here. And possibly one just a little bit further down. Right there. They don't need to have bold paths or anything like that. It can be quite humble little paths. Ooh, actually we need a little bit more room. Just a titchy bit more room at the back here. Grab that. And scooch you over. There we are. I've become very aware of the fact that I say scooch. Which is not to be... not really surprising. It's a very, very commonly used Welsh word. That's not specifically a Welsh word. It's a word that a lot of people in Wales will use. Though, every now and then I hear someone say it from outside of Wales. And I'm very surprised. Because I've always sort of thought of scooch as the same as cwtch. Which is a really common word to mean like a hug. Or a cuddle. Like, you know, you'll get a cwtch from your nine. From your grandmother. So, I'm quite interested. If anyone wants to sound out in the comments down below. How many of you have ever even heard of the word scooch before? And how many of you use the word scooch? Right, we're going to need a little bit of cloth delivered over here every now and then. So, let's get that happening. And set up a splitter here. We need the cloth to make the cheese. We're also going to need fuel. The fuel can be easily delivered, though. Oh, actually, we've got cotton right over there. Alright, I'm going to set you up to use both. And I think this makes all the sense in the universe for us to do. Let's pop the cotton farm right in here. I really hadn't anticipated that, but this will be perfect for us. Now, I don't recall if cotton can move along... Oh, yes, it can. It can move along a chute. And if we bring this down along here, how low? We don't want to quite go all the way down, but close enough. There we are. And then we can branch this out to around here. Now we are kind of cutting into the potential area for us to have farms over here. So actually, let's dial that back a little bit, and we'll go down from this side, I think. Now, over here, we're going to need significantly more support. And one of the things as much as I find it useful at times, the way the game will build scaffolding, I really, really wish they would build supports more. Because it irritates me beyond measure when the scaffolding looks like it couldn't realistically be supported. There we are. That's much better. Right, cotton can be delivered directly down here now. There we go. So at this point, realistically, do we actually need the wool going in there? I would actually say no. Probably don't. So let's get rid of that and move it around here instead. This way we can make this look even more tidy. There we go. And this can go just up and across. There we are. We'll get some more... Well, actually, we're going to probably want to hook up some water. My lord, these pipes have gone a long way. But this is the beauty of having the system already in place. For now, let's also build the actual farm tiles, because, again, without these, then having water doesn't mean anything. They won't water a natural crop, or if they do, it doesn't make any difference to their growth speed. There we go. I think that is about it. There we are. That should bring in a decent amount of cotton. In fact, we should be able to squeeze in a couple more peeps there. There we are, perfect. Okay, so with that done, we've got step number 1. We need milk. That will make our cheese. We also need chicken. And then finally, we need flour. Now, the flour could be made out of potatoes if we really wanted to, but we've got some grain over there. That being said, if we use grain for the feed, we could then use potatoes for the bread. Ooh, that's actually a good idea. So I'm going to take that recipe of bread away. Well, actually, we will still need a little bit of flour, but we'd need a lot less if we use potatoes to make the potato bread. Sure, this will allow me to demonstrate something that we haven't done up to now, and that is use multiple products from the same farm. But first and foremost, we need a few more ingredients. Now let's try and line this up properly. Probably one there, one here. There we go. I would like milk from you. This will also come with fertilizer. And I would like chicken from you. This does not come with fertilizer. So we only need to account for the chicken being delivered here. Can we get that up? No, we can't. It's uneven terrain. Fair enough. There we are. And then this one can go straight up. I would like you to bring milk. There we are. Now, again, we're going to need some more water. So let's bring that straight. Oh, drat. Is that not built at all on the ground? Should be. Alright. Is that... Oh, I think because this tile is expected to be the one connected to the floor. So let me shunt these back and we'll probably see that happen. Because these tiles were slightly elevated, it was creating a scenario where it didn't quite know what the default level of the terrain underneath the pasture was. Or at least that's what it appears to be to me. Let's see if that has fixed things for us. No. Interesting. Alright. Do they not need water? Oh! Oh, my bad. No, it doesn't need water. Chickens don't drink. The more you know. I'm fairly sure they drink. Don't deny your chickens drink, please. Right, so that will take care of this. We'll need some flour, and we are going to need bread, and then we are going to need fuel. My lord, I'm actually stacking up quite a lot of things needed over here now, aren't I? Well, let's have that move in. And the same here. Flour, bread. I could bring up berries too. But then where would I bring the fuel from? Well, I could bring the fuel from over here. Oh, my lord, all of the things. Actually, on that note, fuel could come from here. Thinking about it. Let's have you go down there, and we'll delete this a bit. All the way back. Now, do you have access to regular trees? You don't, but I would like you to. So, let's go ahead and build our first tree planters. I remember the time when a tree planter cost rather a lot. It cost actual iron ingots to plant trees. Those were very expensive times. On the plus side, you know, you could express your wealth in very different ways. It's like, yeah, look at my incredibly wealthy and prosperous village. It has fields upon fields of tree planters. Don't actually plant any trees in it. That would obscure the view of the incredibly wealthy tree planters. Right, let's bring you down. And from here, I'm going to say that we kind of want this to be about this level all the way across. Now, if I can draw that out, we should be able to set up the supports as necessary underneath there. Now, you can make quite interesting looking buildings if you don't build the support everywhere, but you have different looks to the supports. There we are, and one over here as well. I know, I'm so finicky with this sort of stuff. Trust me, I have noticed. As I will often tell people, you only have to put up with this every time I upload a video. I have to put up with this all my life. Go. I'll have these in there, and I think it'll make for a really nice looking bridge of supports. Okay, we won't have one there. Okay, lovely. A small detail, but an important one in my opinion. There we go, that will deliver the trees along. We need to set this one up to accept only regular wood. Alright, getting somewhere now. Let's have more of these trees planted over here as well. Go. Just so that we've got plenty moving through. Now, we could, I believe... Oh, actually, no, we can't apply fertilizer or water to those trees. Okay, fair enough. But that will take care of the fuel requirement at the very least. So now, we are going to need a grain mill. Or rather, a food mill. And once again, we will grab these, bring them down, and split them in both directions. And use a splitter to ensure that this gets split evenly. All I want you to do, here at least, is make animal feed from... Well, actually, we could make it from potatoes as well. Wow. Still, I would like you to just make animal feed from the grain here, but also flour. I could... No, I think I'll have just a single building for the flour that is used for the pastures there. And then we're going to need another one then over here that will provide flour for the sandwiches. Go. And hopefully we can get all of this done down here. There we are. Perfect. Right. All that remains then is to build a farm that can produce quite a lot of grain and a decent amount of potatoes too. Just a small ask, I suppose. Right, so let's pop this down here. I guess it doesn't really matter too much if I dig in, simply because, and by dig in I mean remove these resources so that I can place the farm closer in the middle, because we're going to have to do a lot of building on this farm regardless. We're going to have to set this up ourselves, no matter what we do, really. That being said, I'm fairly certain potatoes roll. Pretty certain the potatoes can roll down a chute. So, with that in mind, let's delete that as well. We're going to want the potatoes to branch off about here, I'm going to say. Right, so first and foremost, potatoes. Moving all the way down. And into the kitchen. Potatoes here. And then the other will, of course, be grain. Moving all the way down there. Alright. Okay, all of the paths are now in place. We've got to wait for the trees to mature before we can actually start harvesting them properly. Let's get farm tiles around here if we can. Now, we are, you know, encountering the limitation of our production of fertilizer. We could improve that by the fact that we've got so much fertilizer over here that... sure, we can add in an extra couple of crates. Just so we can store a little bit more if there's excess. Let's place one here, one there. I'm going to place down a splitter here so it pushes in those directions. And at this point, I'm actually going to change the orientation of this one in this direction. Now, this will mean that we'll never actually get any in the farm. But now I'm going to place a pusher over here. And what this will do is, if there is room, it will give priority to the farm. But if there isn't, it'll just go down here and then get split between these two crates, which is going to give us a little bit more fertilizer to plant fields with, which we're definitely going to need because I'm going to be planting quite a few. But let's go ahead and finish off this little area over here. There we go, with grain. That'll just all be grain here. And we'll hook up the water supply in just a moment. And then we're going to have fields of potatoes elsewhere. Down here, for example. Just separate it off from the rest of the grain fields. And then plant the potatoes. And you don't need to separate them. I just find it visually interesting to do so. Oops. You can absolutely plant wild crops as well if you particularly want to. And since I've done a little bit, I'll put a few more just here and there. There we go. We are going to add in, for no functional reason, but again, just for the visual separation a little bit, I'm going to add in an extra well down here. I am a little bit concerned about the use of water. We're having to bring it from quite far away. There we go, and that one can feed in there. This well is not going to do very much at all, simply because we're so far away from water, but that should be fine. So there we go. All of these fields will now be watered, and the last thing that we need at this stage then is a little bit of extra fertilizer, and that will be provided by the cow farm down here. So let's go ahead and prepare a way up for that. So we want it down here, and then to start rising up in this direction. Yeah, we probably do want to bring it up at least this high, as this is where we will have the regular scaffolding levels for it. You've always got to stop one layer higher than you... stop one layer lower than you're expecting, because the ramps will take a little bit of room as well. Alright, there we go. Let's deliver that in. I'm going to want a splitter over here. Let's start moving that fertilizer straight away. Now, as for the grain, we're going to want that to probably just flow down in this direction. We've got to make sure that it can actually flow that way. In fact, let me make sure that this is expressly set up so it can't accidentally go in the different direction there. We'll just place a splitter here so they get all of that evenly. And then we just want to bring this out. Getting it to the farm is going to be a little bit of a tricky proposition. I suppose what we could do, actually considering we just built all of that, it's unfortunate, but we can just go through this forest. Like that. There we go. Alright, now everything is kind of hinging on the production of this one grain farm, and also potato farm. But we're going to need a lot more people for that. So let's throw a lot of people at this problem. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. Do we want to throw even more people at it? I don't think we're realistically going to get that much more. Still, that's working solidly. And we're getting our first deliveries of wood. Fantastic. Let's increase the population here as well. So we're getting a nice flow of fuel into the kitchen. Okay, chicken is being cooked. We've got deliveries of chicken on the go. We've got 4 milk. We've got all of the cloth that we're ever going to need. There we are. We're making some cheese. We'll get 2 cheese out of that, actually. I hadn't noticed that that one was going to produce a little bit more. Now we're just waiting for the potatoes to grow. Hopefully we're going to see some fertilizer getting down here. Let's have a look at the potatoes. The potatoes are on their way. And once they're grown, this is going to spit out the potatoes stupidly fast. So, all things said and done, I should imagine we're going to be seeing our first deliveries of sandwiches very, very soon indeed. So much so... Oh, we are going to need a tavern for this one. Okay, well, given that, we might not even need this. How about... Since I've given so much preference to that side, and I know this one's much more industrial. This side's, well, I mean, it's, to be fair, it is quite industrial over here, but I don't know, this has more of a... less... It looks more organic. It looks more like farms and fields that just kind of grew up around the town, whereas this is much more industrial in its design. There's just gantries and scaffolds everywhere. It takes away from the character of the place. So... we're going to do these peeps a solid and make this into the tavern area. Let's go for a nice wooden platform for our tavern. Let's build that out. Yes, rickety old tavern. I know. But that just adds to the charm. It's fine. There we go. And we are going to want the tavern. Where are you, tavern? There we are. Place you down. We should be able to deliver sandwiches direct. I mean, if we brought in... like, how would we get to the jams? We need to grow sugar. Somewhat tempted. I'm not going to lie. We've got apples just down there. But we would need to be growing sugar at the farm in addition to everything else. Maybe that will be for a different, a different time. But whilst that is delivered over there, we could now sneakily have these sandwiches literally conveyed into the tavern. No, I'm going to resist it. I could. I absolutely could. But that's just going to contribute to the problem that I was talking about just now. I don't want this place to just be one massive industrial area. I want it to have a bit of character, damn it. Let's build out a little road over here, and we're going to have a meeple. Whose job it is to deliver the delicious sandwiches. There we go. Go forth, meeple. There we are. Look at that. People are going to be super happy with this. In fact, they better be. Those are high quality sandwiches right there. 30 yellow coins, 50 experience points. Happiness duration 120 minutes. Absolutely wonderful. And with that, then, all we need to do now is wait. How quick is the production here? Oh, it's the opposite of quick. But we absolutely can afford for it to be much faster. The only thing that's really holding us back is the cheese production. And that is because we are not doing enough with all of the grain that we're producing. So let's bump that up, shall we? Well, let's go to 6. Oh, actually, we can't get to 6. So what we'll do is we'll add a coin booster. We'll pay a little bit extra to get to 6. There we go. We're paying 3 coins a second to produce all of this. We're actually massively overproducing now. We're actually not getting the grain down here fast enough. We don't have enough spare population at this point. Still, we could probably cut that back then a little bit. I want to see that ever so slightly increase. In fact, we can cut it back a little bit more as well. There we go. We might see that starting to increase. Let's have a look over here. Yeah, the feed is not coming through that fast, but we have increased production. At this point, we could add in a couple more homes. We've got our little cottages over there. I think that's lovely. How about some cottages over here? Maybe, I don't know. This place is a little bit too industrial for homing. I mean, I guess, at the end of the day, of course there are going to be homes in an industrial area. But are they going to be happy homes? That's the question. And I'd rather not make unhappy homes if I have a choice. Let's pop this down. There we are. It's going to be lovely. You can do a little bit of fishing. You know what? I'm going to give you a little pier while we wait. Let's do a little bit of decoration. Little platform out here. There we go. Lovely. We'll add in some supports right on the edge. Actually, that looks lovely. There we are. Little supports. Have we got any other decorations we can pop down? We don't have lanterns yet, which is a shame. But I'm going to give you a little bench. Maybe what we'll do is we'll add a little bit more to this pier. Let's grab a little bit more wooden platform up there. Yeah, something like that, actually. And we'll take away the top section. We'll have the pier come out along the side there to make a proper little fishing pier. There we go. A little bit of extra safety going out there, and then we'll have a couple of benches. And just kind of sit down, enjoy yourself, cast your lines, just set them up, sit back, you know, pull your cap down, probably fall asleep. Wake up to the little jingle of bells on your fishing rod once something starts biting at the line. But there we go! We have completed Island 2. We're actually not that far off. We could probably push our population level even higher if we really wanted to. At the moment, I am going to say this is probably the place where we need the most oomph. But, you know what, let's push it all. Oh, there we go. That grain is coming out of here about as fast as it possibly can. We can add just a little bit more. I know. We're done. I can stop the episode. I'm always bemoaning the fact that these episodes last so long. But I'm a slave. Slave to my own designs. Let's build this up a little bit higher if we can, please and thanks. There we go. That should allow us to draw out from here. It may be one too high. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think it is probably one too high. If we set this up to accept grain, is it going to be able to put... No, it can. Fantastic. Okay. We will bring this out over here. Then we will pop another area down here. Let's build that up a little bit. There we go. There we are. And up along on this side. Just draw it out. See, this is the problem. I enjoy this game too much to stop. If you're looking for... If you've been wondering, like, Aavak, is this game any good? Well, I can't stop even when I really do need to because my food is ready. That's how good it is. But there we are. That should allow us to get a little bit of extra grain down here. Specifically... Oh, well, that is not what I meant to do. I didn't even know that was possible. That's going to be awkward to remove without deleting everything. So let's just quickly scoot you to the side for a second. Sorry about this. You know how it goes sometimes. Just get a little bit scaffold happy. Right, there we go. This can now probably make animal feed about as fast as we can throw money at it, realistically. Let's put a little bit more. I want to see it ever so slightly building up a stockpile. There we go. Actually, if I leave it about there, that'll be as good as it needs to be. But that is it. We are victorious. Victory over campaign level 2. Quite a few new concepts added in here. Much larger production chains. Obviously, in level 1, there were a couple of things that needed 1 or 2 different resources brought to it, but the sandwich, for example, is not even actually that advanced. The requirements to make some of the endgame items are vast. You will need industries supplying industries to build some of the endgame materials. But that is all we have time for today's episode. I really do hope you enjoyed, and if you did and you want to see more, do let me know down in the comments below. But until next time, do take care, everyone.